2025. And when the waters will run dry, we won't have enough water to drink, wash, or feed crops. And this is going to lead to so many issues. So today, I'm so delighted that Mr. Farrukh Khan has joined us. Farrukh is working with WaterAid, and for the last about 7 or 8 years, I've been associated with him, and I've seen the amazing work that he has done. He's the state program director leading the program of WaterAid in Uttar Pradesh. WaterAid is a non-profit organization working for safe drinking water, sanitation, and hygiene, WASH, for the last 3 decades. A global organization which seeks to improve access to clean water, decent toilets, and good hygiene for everyone. So welcome, Farrukh, and thank you so much for being here with us today. Over to you.
Thank you. It has always been my pleasure to work with you, and good to see. And I definitely commend Lucknow Farmers Markets initiative, at least to choose this topic to for conversation with children, with other friends who are associated with farmer market and citizens of Uttar Pradesh and beyond. Thank you so much. So may I request, I had a small presentation, if Shivi can help us run, then we can get going.
And so we have some children who are here with us on Zoom, some children are with us on Facebook, and we are going to be asking these children to put their names and their schools in the chat.
Perfect.
And
yeah, that's brilliant.
Giving them certificates. We want to engage with them after this over the summer. So all the best. Go ahead, Farrukh.
Yeah, good to see. So thank you again for having me in this conversation. And yeah, so before I start, can you shift to the next slide? Yeah, before that.
Sorry, there's some error on the previous slide. We can't see it.
Okay. So forget it. That's hardly matters. Yeah. Before I go on speaking on what kids can do to save water, I need not repeat what Jyotsna has already said. Why do we need to save water? But I would just like to share some of the critical data that we have. So normally our planet is being called as blue planet. Earth is the only planet that is blessed with water, the elixir of life, what we call. And that's why life exists on Earth because of water. But it is not a finite resource as we normally perceive. And not all the water across the globe that we have is available and accessible to us for our survival, for daily needs. It's just 1% fresh water that is accessible to us. 99% water resource available on Earth is not of much use, though it's present. It's mainly the Antarctica sheet that holds about 90% of the fresh water that exists on Earth's surface, and that percolates and provides us fresh water. And that is why there is a lot of concern these days in terms of growing climate change debate, how this Antarctica icebergs are melting down, and why it is going to bring a larger crisis for water as well as for entire survival of the entire Earth. As we see, all water on Earth is almost unusable, 99%. Water usable for humans is just 1%, and within 1%, it's 99% groundwater that we are consuming, using for various purposes, not just for drinking purpose, but also for various commercial activities, for agriculture, for farming, and for also industrial purpose. So that's the quantum, and that's the minuscule proportion of the resource that we have in our hand. and that's why it's important to conserve, to use judiciously whatever little amount of fresh water we have on the globe. Go to the next slide. I mean, I'm sure most of us who are connected with social media must have this conversation somewhere through WhatsApp, forwards through other social media. Must have heard about Cape Town's Zero Day event in 2018, 19, and even 2021 as well. So it was for the first time when officials in Cape Town announced that the city of 4 million people, this is the capital of South Africa, Cape Town city. It had only 3 months of drinking water that was available for citizens. And it was an alarming situation. It was called Day Zero by local officials and brought on by 3 consecutive years because of less rainfall on April 2018 was to be the date of largest drought-induced municipal water distribution. So it was basically the rationing of water. People had to stand in long queues to access water, and no one can use whatever amount they were using earlier. It was a strict rationing on water sources. So if a state capital of such a rich country can face such problem, we can assume the days are not behind across many other cities across globe. In fact, Chennai is one of example where we have heard that Chennai doesn't have its own water. Groundwater is almost dried up of its resources and depends on various other means and other sources for water. Couple of years back, BBC had a survey and identified 11 cities across the globe, and Bangalore was one Indian city where the water situation was acute and beyond revival, I can say. So that's the magnitude of the situation. The next slide, please. Also, we need to understand as a citizen, as a human being, our right to water. Water is, of course, important for life, for survival, not just for human, but all living beings, including plants and trees. So in 2010, the UN recognized the human rights to water and sanitation, meaning everyone has the right to sufficient, continuous, safe, acceptable, and affordable water. Everyone connected must have heard about Sustainable Development Goal that was declared in 2015 and signed by all the countries associated with United Nations. And Goal 6 is actually related to water and sanitation, and that talks about ensuring the availability and sustainable management of clean water and sanitation for all. So there is global commitment associated with providing safe drinking water to each and every person on this planet. India is not far behind in terms of commitment and assurance to people regarding right to water. In fact, it is Indian Constitution that was written long back, even before UN recognized the human rights to water. Indian Constitution under Article 21 for right to life, it enshrines right to clean water as well under the Constitution. So water is not just a provision, a service delivery by any agency or government. It is a constitutional human rights for every citizen, irrespective of caste, class, creed, and color. Next slide, please. Yeah. Coming back to how India and our state is situated in terms of water resource availability. India is home to 17% of world population, but has only 4% of world's freshwater resources. So we have seen that on entire globe, just 1% of freshwater is available for entire planet, for entire humanity. And of the 1%, India has those 17% of world population, but shares only 4% of the world's freshwater resources. So that's the challenge with India that we see. As far as Uttar Pradesh is concerned, we have 18.4% of total groundwater extraction, and UP tops in the state. UP is the one state where we have been extracting maximum groundwater. Groundwater dependent supply in urban areas, if we talk about in Uttar Pradesh, it is estimated as 5,975 million liters per day, which is annually assessed as 2,180 billion liters if we assume the quantum of extraction we are withdrawing from our earth. Next, please. Yeah, I would also like to share some of the startling data from our capital city, Lucknow, where most of us live. The current water supply from the Jal Sansthan, which is the service provisioning agency in the state, in Lucknow, 1,250 million liters per day supply is currently being assessed. And it is assessed that estimated that over the next 5 years, Lucknow will require 2,500 million liters per day water supply for its citizens. But unfortunately, as of now, it's only 750 million liter per day is what is being provided by Jal Sansthan to citizens of Lucknow. Most of the people depend on either community sources or they have own submersible installed at their home. So somehow it is being managed mostly by individuals, not by the civic authorities. Of all the water that we are using, 1/3 goes to leaking pipes and goes in wastage. And of all these, almost 70% water that we consume and use on daily basis, 70% becomes wastewater or grey water that goes down the drains. Every year during the summer, we have almost 500,000 residents of Indranagar and Gomti Nagar do face severe water crisis, and they are mainly dependent on the Kathauta Lake for safe drinking water. 60% of old Lucknow mainly dependent on safe water from river Gomti. And almost every year we hear that Gomti, that happens to be lifeline of Lucknow, goes almost dry, and the water level goes down every year, deeper and deeper, affecting almost 1/3 of Lucknow's population. That's the crisis that we are facing, and most of us are not really much aware about the crisis that we are facing. And that is why we need to save water, conserve water. Every drop means a lot, not just for Lucknow, but for entire globe. And let me also emphasize and highlight that given its population, our state, Uttar Pradesh, would have been a 6th most populous nation had it been an independent nation because of the population. So a lot of owners depends on to realize whatever has been committed under Sustainable Development Goal. India and particularly Uttar Pradesh are going to have larger influence on global goals that world aspires to achieve over 2030. including goal 6, where we are talking about water. Thank you. Next, please. Okay, we do feel that we have a lot of water. We don't see dearth of water. Often in formal conversation, we used to hear that we are blessed with good water resources, and we don't have to be worried what people in Rajasthan and any other or Bundelkhand must be facing crisis. But in India, we have seen state of Cape Town crisis as 0 day. But in India, the amount of water per capita per day that we are receiving as of the government data, it's 69 liter per day per capita for every citizen. That is the average. And it is already much lower than what the Cape Town is forced to do under extreme drought. That was 87 LPCD in 2017 and 18. So in terms of water availability, for safe drinking water and other domestic shores, we are much lower per capita availability also. So it's not abundance water that we have. Next, please. So it is not just for Lucknow, but most of the cities or villages, I would stress, face water crisis because of the 3 prominent reasons. It is over-exploitation of groundwater resources, because almost 90% water consumption is from groundwater resources for whatever purpose, whether it is agriculture, whether it is industrial purpose, construction purpose, or drinking water or domestic purpose. Unpredictable weather and climate change is, of course, a major concern and major influencer of deepening groundwater crisis or water crisis, I would say. Unregulated urbanization is also a major part to play. We don't have much provision for water recycling or water reuse in construction, or also provisioning for safe sources of water. And that's why unregulated urbanization is also a major challenge that we have currently been facing, is causing the high stress on our water resources. Next, please. Yeah, so that's the kind of reminder that we have. Everyone has to remember. Water is neither finite, not a free resource. It costs money to make sure there is a clean and safe water every time we turn our tap. So it's important that we value each and every drop. Next, please. Yeah. So what do we do to conserve water, to save water? And I'm sure most of us must have seen this RRR as a rage these days. It's a South Indian movie which is making headlines across social media and mainstream media. But what exactly this 3R, I would explain in terms of the mantras for saving water in our daily life. So 1R is reduce wastage of water through more economic and efficient water use at home and institution. Reuse water through proper treatment and recycling of wastewater of various needs other than drinking and cooking. Replenish cities' groundwater and water bodies through rainwater harvesting and groundwater recharge measures at household, community level. So 3 R's, that is reduce, reuse, and replenish, is the key to conserve water and save our water bodies. Next, please. So what you can do with 50 liters a day? So currently we have seen that per capita availability is 69 liter per capita per day. And when I was talking about the 0 day in Cape Town, we also need to learn from the citizens of Cape Town, the government of Cape Town, how they actually averted this crisis by significantly lowering down, reducing their daily water consumption, what was earlier, to almost half of what they were actually using. And that's how they were able to mitigate the crisis. And here is a small tip that what we can do with just 50 liter water available per day. It's a little blurred slide, but for domestic purposes and cleaning and laundry, it's 15 liter per day. 90-second of shower, that's 13 liters. Short toilet flush, that's 9 liters. Quality daily hygiene for 3 liters. Cooking 3 liters per day. Drinking water, it's 2 liter per day. Even for dog, they have estimated 1 liter per day. So that's a per individual can easily manage with 50 liters of water per day. Our government, Indian government, that has actually recently launched a very ambitious plan for providing safe water through functional tap water to each and every rural household by 2024, commits provisioning of 55 liters water per capita per day. So it's 5 liter more than what we see we can do with 50 liter water per day available. It is available. Besides, there are several other tips. Children, not just children, but grown up like us, can responsibly do at domestic place or their workplace to reduce water. Next, please. So there are certain tips and which I used to call water-wise actions and water-wise tips. We need first we need to check the toilet, which whether it is a dual flush. You'll notice there are two buttons. One is a small flush button and second is large. So every time we use the toilet for urination, then we can use the smaller button that saves a significant amount of water. Some of the people have also experimented using the recycled water from other domestic usage for flushing, for flushing of the toilet. That can also be thought of and managed. Have a shower, shallower bath. We can use bucket instead of shower. Lower the daily level of 1 cm, and we could save almost 10 liters of water if we reduce our shower time. But we can ensure our proper hygiene and proper bath as well. Detect water leakage in every tap. We can save almost 1,000 liter of water every month just by plugging the leaks in our taps. So no wastage at all. Turn off tap when you are brushing your teeth. Normally, there is a tendency that we start brushing and we open our taps. So whether we are brushing or shaving, we do this practice, which is not appropriate. We need to turn off the tap and also use. Some of the people have also experimented with sensor-based taps. When you put your hand below the tap, so the water will come only when it senses the motion of your hand, and it stops when it not in use. So that those people who can afford can also be try experimenting with these kind of technological innovations to reduce water consumption at domestic workplace. So have a shorter shower, only use the dishwasher or washing machine when they are full. So for just 2 and 3 cloths, we should avoid actually using our washing machine, because it consumes a significant amount of water that can be saved. Next, please. Yeah, these are some very simple but practical tips for saving water, conserving water. Wash vegetable in a bowl rather than under a tap, so that in that way you will save significant amount of water. Put a jug of water in fridge for a cool drink rather than using bottle when we drink normally half of the bottle and then leave water as it is. Use watering can in your kitchen garden or garden or flower pots instead of hose pipes. So it saves again very significant amount of water when we are using simple watering can or bucket to water our plants. Collect rainwater in water buds. We can also use rooftop rainwater harvesting to not just to collect the water for our other purposes like watering the plants or storing it for other purposes, cleaning floors, etc. But also we can simply let it flow to the down to the ground through a filter media to simply let the groundwater recharge. So in that way, we can do a service as I earlier said that water is not finite resource. So it's like groundwater resource is like piggy bank. We can compare. We are just withdrawing money from our piggy bank or bank account. Ultimately, it will exhaust, and our accounts will be closed. Our piggy bank will be empty. But if we are conscious and saving on a small amount regularly, even if we are drawing some money, some coins from the piggy bank, but we need to also ensure that some amount also goes into our bank account or piggy bank. Similarly, we need to ensure that whatever water we are withdrawing, some of the water should also go down to the water reservoir, what we call it aquifer in technical term, should go to replenish our groundwater resources or to our surface water resources. So these are simple tips, I would say, we can remember, we can not just use at our homes, but also encourage, motivate, inspire our friends, our colleagues, our batchmates, and save a significant amount of water for future generation. And when I'm talking about future generation, it's most of the kids, children who are sensitive, who are enlightened and are joining this conversation right now. You are actually the future, and you have to be more conscious than generation of ours was. Even we are the culprits who have not bothered when we were consuming water from submersible pumps, withdrawing water and using hose pipes to wash our cars, our grounds. So you are more sensitive, and I'm sure you will be doing wonders to save, and each one of you are water champions, I would say, and messengers to the community for future. At the end, I would like to quote this very important message from our father of nation, Gandhiji. The world has enough for everyone's need, but not for enough for everyone's greed. So yes, water is available plenty for us to survive, for our future generation to survive. But it is not for greed for the people who are over exploiting, exhausting our water resources. Ultimately, every water resource will dry down and we won't be able to see a green future, a blue planet in future if we are not awaken, we are not committed uh, to resolve and to conserve water in the present day. Thank you so much. It was pleasure sharing my thoughts with you, whatever small and simple thoughts it would be. But I would love to hear from you, and in case you have some questions or clarification, I would be happy to respond. So
And
over to you,
also,
Jasna.
Farrukh, can you tell them about your Water Champions program and how we can share their stories? So
Oh
if
yes,
the
that's
students conduct some activity and they share it with us, how you will share it on the WaterAid platform. And
great. Yeah. So WaterAid in collaboration with several other agencies, we have been running a campaign that's called WaterWise Lucknow. It's hashtag WaterWise Lucknow since past 3 years. And we are creating kind of offline and online repositories of resources, planning various activities offline as well as online, interactive website that we are currently designing, social media campaign we are planning. We recently had a radio campaign with Big FM. We had a campaign with digital media partner Jubilee Post, where we invited experts. We invited faith leaders who have good influence over communities to talk about water and how people can work and contribute towards conserving our water resources. It was a very enlightening experience. And soon we are going to start our engagement with school children, with college students, with youth from cities across Lucknow. We will be planning to organize talk show and various other interactive program competition where students and children can join. Uh, Children are also welcome to join us as a volunteer, as a water champion, to contribute to this ongoing campaign. They are feel free to write to us, reach out to our office, and we can plan something very exciting with them. How we can mobilize, influence not just our families, our colleagues, our neighbors to be more water wise, and we can engage these students definitely. Everyone is water champion, and everyone can contribute to this larger campaign that we are having. So that's it, Jyotsna. You can definitely connect with us, the children, the people in your network, and we can plan something good, exciting under the campaign. Thank you.
And so we have some coordinators. Do we have some coordinators from schools here who would like to add something about how your school can take a project forward over the summer? Would some of the children like to share what they are doing to save water? Otherwise, anyway, we would invite all of you to connect with us. I've given the pages.
So
And
just one idea that I would like to float, and if these coordinators can think of and plan. So this is simple water audit. So they can take it up in their residential complexes where they are residing, in their colonies, or their schools or colleges. So we can provide simple tool. It's very basic information that they need to collect, and on that way they will be able to assess how much water is available for consumption in their residential area or institutions, schools, and how much is needed actually, and what can be done to save water. So it's a very exciting exercise, and children can do it brilliantly. We have engaged some of the school children who have done it earlier.
Great. I think we definitely will be taking this up with some of the schools. We've got students here today, I know from Green Lawn Schools, Gorakhpur, from Jaipuria School, Alambagh, from, I think, Greenfield School, Lucknow. Any other schools, tell us? And some other coordinators, there's some NGO participants here. So we'll reach out to them now with the following post to see how we can do this water audit. And I think that'll be a great thing to do, Farrukh. And another thing that I also want to tell all of you is that saving water and being sustainable is also not just by the use of water. Even the products that we buy, every single article of clothing, paper, anything we use, each of that is actually used, it uses a lot of water. In fact, the clothing industry uses, I think, the maximum amount of water. Some 93 billion cubic meters of water is used in the clothing industry, which is about 4% of the fresh water all over the world. And it's only going to double as we go forward. Manufacturing of paper takes a huge amount of water. 17,000 gallons of water is used to make a ton of paper, for example. So I think, all of us can become more, aware about the products that we use and what we throw away, because throwing something away, there's no way that it goes. It goes into the water, it pollutes our groundwater, and it goes back. Even every soft drink that you drink, you may think that you are drinking something to actually hydrate yourself now in the summer, but a 500 ml bottle of an aerated drink takes about almost 2 liters of water to produce that drink, and it also pollutes our groundwater. So the best drink is water, and to keep that water pure and clean, you all know what you have to do. We have to stop polluting our groundwater. We have to be careful about what we use, and think sustainably as well. So we would love to connect with any schools or coordinators or NGOs, and with WaterAid, we'll help you do this water audit in your colonies, your schools, your colleges, where they will give the tools to gauge how much water is available, what is needed. And we'd love to hear the story of water champions and what you are doing to save water.
Absolutely. It was absolutely a pleasure to connect with each one of you. And I look forward working with all of you.
We have Diya Bajal, ma'am, the director of the Jaipuria school, here with us.
Hello, I think it was very, inspiring, and you really actually, think how much water you're using. And it's only after this talk today that I've realized that, need to be very, very conscious about it. So this is a campaign we'll definitely be, taking it across to our school, and some of our school children have also joined. So we will definitely, really want to take this over.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. And I'm sure Jaipuria has a lot of influence on shaping children's future, and making them as a water champion is something that would be a big achievement. And I would be happy to contribute in whatever manner. If you need our support and assistance, please feel free to reach out to us, and we would be happy to support.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Diya ma'am. So we thank all the schools for being here. Yes, Ashok Kamal ji, from my alma mater, modern school in Delhi. Please, Ashok ji. He's someone who works in sustainability.
Yeah, one suggestion that I had is that all of us have RWAs where we live. And in our RWA, I'm very, very proud to say that the rainwater that used to flow on the roads in the colony, we have gathered that and created, harvesting for that water also. And that has really helped in our colony. The groundwater has gone up. So all the participants are here. I'm saying that this works, but then it has to be a community effort. So not only all our houses have rainwater harvesting, but we have done it in our RW also. So this is one suggestion I wanted to give. Really significantly improve the groundwater position in our colony. Thank you.
Very good suggestion, sir. This is definitely an important area that we all need to work on. Just wanted to share a small thing that by law, every government premise is supposed to have rainwater harvesting system in place. In Lucknow, there are almost over 250 buildings are there that have a rooftop rainwater harvesting system in place. But unfortunately, most of them are not functional because of lack of operation and maintenance, which is not very time consuming or resource consuming. We are going to have an audit of these buildings soon, and we'll share the report with civic authorities and district administration. Thank you.
I would just like to add here that our school also has the rainwater harvesting, and it will be an honor if you can come and see our school and see how we are doing that.
Oh, definitely, ma'am.
Wonderful. So thank you so much, everyone, for a wonderful and really thought-provoking session. And I'm sure this is going to lead to all of us actually working on how we can actually, be better at conserving water and ensure that we have a better today by conserving water and tomorrow. So save water, everyone. Thank you all for joining. And thank you so much, Farrukh ji, as always, for your collaboration. Have a wonderful weekend, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you once again.
Bye-bye.